This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. Happy New Year, everyone! I truly hope that you had a good holiday. But it is good to be back, so let's get to it. Volkswagen finally came to an agreement with union IG Metall and its Works Council. For months, the automaker was negotiating to close plants and reduce its workforce in Germany. But its unions pushed back, saying they didn't want any plant closings or layoffs and were willing to give up future bonuses for that to happen. But it looks like Volkswagen pretty much got what it wanted. It's going to chop its workforce in Germany by 35,000 people by 2030, saving it 1.5 billion euros a year when completed. On top of that, production at its German plants will be slashed by 734,000 units. One of the 6 plants will be discontinued by the end of this year, and another is only making a single model that's going away in 2027. VW says it's exploring other options for those sites, but it tried the same thing with an Audi plant in Belgium and nobody wanted it. When you add up all of the changes that VW is making in Germany, it says it expects to save 15 billion euros a year. But this is only one region. We wouldn't be surprised to see Volkswagen have to make cuts in other parts of the world as well. One of the biggest concerns people have about buying an EV is how long the battery will last. Well, a new study from the SLAC Stanford Battery Center says EV batteries may last longer than initially thought. The researchers performed 2 different types of tests to study the battery health of 92 commercial lithium-ion batteries. One test is most commonly used in labs when batteries are charged and discharged at a constant current. The other test, called dynamic cycling, mimics real-world conditions by charging and discharging batteries with bursts of activity and then rest. And the researchers found that batteries tested using dynamic cycling had better battery health metrics. More research needs to be done, but this could help ease some concern about having to replace costly batteries. As we reported last month, BYD is being investigated in Brazil for the mistreatment of workers at the assembly plant it's building there. And now the country has stopped issuing temporary work visas for BYD because it says some of those workers are the victims of human trafficking. Brazilian authorities say they found 163 Chinese workers who had been brought into Brazil in slavery-like conditions. BYD hasn't yet responded to a request for comment, but the contractor that hired the workers has denied any wrongdoing. BYD is aiming to start production at the $620 million plant this year, but it looks like those plans will be put on hold until this issue is resolved. California has come under a lot of criticism for pushing EVs so heavily while its electrical grid suffers from rolling brownouts at times. But now, EVs with bidirectional charging capabilities are helping to ease the stress on the grid when demand is high. Renewable sources were able to provide all the electricity the state needed for 98 out of 116 days from late winter until early summer last year, with no blackouts during that time. Those sources include wind, water, solar, and batteries. Batteries cover stationary storage as well, not just EVs. But even so, battery capacity in the state is up 105% compared to the same time in 2023, and batteries were able to supply up to 12% of nighttime demand. The Dodge Charger Daytona is heading for overseas markets. A Stellantis spokesperson confirmed with Car Scoops that the American muscle car will be sold in the Middle East and through importers in Europe in the second half of this year. They didn't say which version will go on sale first, but both 2- and 4-door and ICE and pure electric models will be offered.
There's nothing wrong with heavy metal.
Hey, lighten up.
But with world-class composite material, Teijin Automotive Technologies makes vehicles lighter, safer, and more eco-friendly.
China wants to be the world leader in self-driving cars, so the city of Beijing just passed regulations to encourage using them. Starting on April 1st, autonomous vehicles that pass road and safety tests will be allowed to apply for public trials. The city is also encouraging the development of the road infrastructure to support a network of self-driving vehicles. The city of Wuhan recently passed similar measures as well, and that makes at least 19 cities in China that are conducting autonomous vehicle tests. Meanwhile, China's auto industry is right on schedule to achieve the country's goal of dominating the global auto industry. Through November of last year, China accounted for 41% of all the light vehicles sold around the world. In Norway, for example, Chinese EVs now account for almost 10% of the market. 5 years ago, they had 0% market share, and there's no signs of slowing down, at least not yet. Chinese automakers are starting to report their sales for December, and so far, the numbers are coming in strong. Just look at BYD. It posted record sales last month, selling over 500,000 cars. For the year, BYD sold 4.25 million vehicles, which probably puts it ahead of Honda and Ford, though we'll have to wait for them to post their final year-end numbers. If BYD holds December sales pace for the rest of this year, it will sell over 6 million vehicles, which could pole vault it ahead of General Motors. And it's entirely possible that BYD surpassed Tesla in terms of selling pure battery electric cars. Through the third quarter of last year, BYD was only 124,000 units behind Tesla. And while BYD sales numbers are surging ahead, Tesla will probably show only a slight increase at best. But one reason why car sales are so strong in China is that automakers are forced to cut prices as the price war there enters its third year. But even with all those price cuts, subsidies from the Chinese national government and others by large municipalities are needed to prop up sales. Moreover, the industry is burdened by massive overcapacity. And while exports have been a pressure relief valve for that overcapacity, China now faces increasing trade restrictions and tariffs from countries like India, Brazil, and even Mexico, who now worry about those Chinese cars coming in and flooding their markets. So what's going on in the Chinese auto industry is simply unsustainable. And if you think all those plant closings and layoffs that Volkswagen is talking about in Germany sounds bad, just wait until the day of reckoning hits the Chinese auto industry. And by the way, those are some of the things that we'll be talking about on Autoline After Hours this afternoon. We'll look back at the most important developments that happened last year, look forward to what could happen this year, and also get a preview of the new automotive tech that we'll see at CES in Las Vegas next week. Jeff Stout from Yangfeng will be on the show, and so will Sam Abu El Samid from Guidehouse Insights. So, we invite you to join John and Gary when the show goes live at 3 p.m. Eastern Time today. But that's a wrap for this show. I hope to see you later.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering boost your game. And by Teijin Automotive Technologies, the formula for better mobility.
Developing today's vehicles. Issues can happen in an instant. When's the best time to solve a problem? The minute you know you have one. Meet Wireless NeoVi Cloud, your secure, off-the-shelf solution empowering real-time collaboration for quick resolution. With Wireless NeoVi Cloud, your team can prevent issues before they can escalate. Driver communication data and remote diagnostics to analyze and resolve your problems using OTA, allowing your executives oversight throughout the process. Wireless NeoVi Cloud, your vehicle update solution in production and on the road. Intrepid Control Systems, driven by your data.
Performance that shines, even in the rain. That's what really matters. Bridgestone Potenza tires, improved grip in wet conditions.